I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Every patience has its limits, and I think I have chosen to remain silent for too long. That sentence was not just a form of disappointment. It was the echo of a young man who had grown up in the spotlight, who for years chose to hold back in order to protect many things. But this time, Jungkook, BTS's golden magne, chose not to hide his heart anymore. He chose to be honest. In a world full of stage lights, luxury, and endless applause, the public often forgets that idols are also human. Behind the handsome faces that are displayed in global advertisements and the melodious voices that break the silence of millions of fans, there is a soul that is sometimes tired. There are wounds that are not visible. There are dreams that are blocked by the system. And that day, in an exclusive interview that no one had anticipated, Jungkook decided to speak. Not with the sweet language that he usually displays in front of the camera, but with a gaze full of determination and a calm voice. He revealed another side of his long journey as an artist. "I have been silent for long enough," he said without hesitation. This statement immediately shocked the world, especially ARMY, who had always thought that BTS's relationship with their agency, HYBE, was fine. But Jungkook emphasized that not everything that is seen on the surface reflects what is really happening behind the scenes. "We don't really have free will," he said quietly. "There are many things we have to do, not because we want to, but because we are asked to." He explained that behind the glitter of success, there is sometimes a restrictive system. There are big decisions that are made without the voice of the artists themselves. "I want to be myself, but often I have to wait, postpone, even cancel many things, just because they don't fit the image that has been set." For many people, an agency is a home. But for some artists, that home can be a golden cage. Jungkook didn't name anyone, but what he said was clear enough. There was treatment that made him feel more like a product than a person. Songs he wrote himself. Creative ideas that never got the green light. Emotions that were stifled by the demands of image. "My creativity felt like it was being stifled by unwritten rules," he said softly. However, Jungkook didn't come to attack. He came with maturity. He acknowledged all the achievements he had made with HYBE, but with great courage, he also stated that appreciating the past does not mean having to continue to accept the reality that is bitter. "I just want to be honest, to myself and to all of you." What made this confession even more touching was when Jungkook said that the BTS members knew how he felt. "We support each other," he said with a faint smile. "Our paths may be different, but our trust in each other remains." It didn't take long for hashtags like #WeStandWithJungkook and #YouAreNotAloneJK to immediately occupy global trends. Armies from all over the world showed their extraordinary support. They didn't just love Jungkook as a star, but as a human being who dared to choose the right path. Then the big question arose. Does this mean Jungkook will leave HYBE? Will he build his own label, or maybe step forward as an independent artist? Jungkook has yet to give a definite answer. But he did say one sentence that resonated in the hearts of millions. "I will continue to make music, but this time in my own way." For some, this is a statement of liberation, a declaration that the old system cannot continue without change. Jungkook is not just speaking for himself. He is the voice of many artists who have chosen to remain silent. And now, he has chosen to no longer silent. In the continuation of his interview, Jungkook shared a very personal story about the mental pressure he has been experiencing, about the mornings he lives with an empty feeling. "Not because I don't love music," he said, "but because I feel like I no longer control my life." He talked about long nights in the studio, creating songs that never reached the public's ears. Not because they were bad, but because they were considered not suitable for the image that had been patented. "It hurts when our work is rejected for no clear reason, because that work is not just a voice, it is a part of our soul." But more than just an outpouring of the heart, this confession is a calling. Jungkook knows he will get mixed reactions. He could be labeled as a rebel, even disloyal. But for him, this is not about rebellion. This is about courage, honesty, and the freedom to be yourself. But Jungkook's courage to speak out didn't just inspire fans. He began to slowly, but significantly change the atmosphere of South Korea's entertainment industry. It was as if that one voice had become a catalyst for many others that had been locked away. Within days of the interview airing, several young idols from different agencies began to share similar sentiments, posting cryptic messages about freedom, about pressure, and about their identities as people, not just products. Some former idols even began speaking out on independent podcasts and personal YouTube streams, calling Jungkook's move a wind turn in an industry that had for too long built a wall between reality and a forced image. One former trainee said, "When Jungkook spoke, those of us who used to feel like we had no place now felt heard." And while some media outlets tried to balance the narrative, highlighting that not all idols experience the same thing, the majority of the public still felt that what Jungkook was saying was something that had long since come to the surface. This wasn't about creating conflict, but about opening up a space for discussion. This wasn't about drama, but about honesty that had been rare for so long. Even some of Korea's most senior musicians and legendary producers were speaking out. They said that the current system is too rigid and often kills creativity from the start. K-pop is a great machine, but it is also a greedy system, said one producer. When Jungkook speaks, he is not attacking anyone. He is showing that the system needs to be improved. From HYBE's side, there has been no official press conference so far. However, rumors have begun to emerge that the agency is under high pressure. Some parts of the creative division are said to have reevaluated the approval process for artists' solo works. There are even rumors that other BTS members are now discussing cross-label collaboration options for their own solo works, a move that is very rare under the structure of a large agency. But perhaps most touching is how Jungkook chooses to remain calm. Instead of provoking, he continues his steps in the way he knows best, through music. In a recent Instagram post, Jungkook showed a snippet of audio, no lyrics, no explanation. Just minor notes that feel quiet, but full of meaning. ARMY immediately speculated that it was one of the songs that he had kept secretly, never released because it was blocked by the internal system. Not a few hoped that the songs would be present soon, as part of Jungkook's first independent music project. And this is where the public really waited. Not only to enjoy new works, but to witness how Jungkook, who had long lived in the system, has now transformed into the owner of his own stage. One of the most shocking moments was when an ARMY wrote an open letter that went viral on social media. The letter read, "We love you when you shine, but we love you more when you are honest. You are not just our idol. You are a reflection of our courage to be ourselves. Thank you, Jungkook." The letter was then liked by hundreds of thousands of users and was even said to have been read directly by Jungkook in a closed broadcast with fans. He shed tears. "I never thought my voice could reach this far," he said while bowing his head. And that's it. One honest sentence, one decision to no longer be silent, has opened a door that was previously tightly closed. No one knows for sure where Jungkook will go next. But one thing is clear, he is no longer alone, and he is no longer in the shadows. This is not the end of a story. This is the beginning of a new, much more human chapter. A chapter about artists who not only sing their lyrics, but also speak their courage. About idols who choose to be human before their image. Top K-pop will continue to follow this development. Because when one honest voice echoes, the world will never be the same again. And Jungkook has proven that even in an industry as big as this, a voice from the heart can still change the course of history.